So what are some key ways to optimize the kitchen, and what are some common problems that you see?
So, common problems for kitchen is lack of organization. Is the big one, and that poses so many different problems for families. Rather it's an individual person who's trying to get out of the house in the morning, or especially if you've got, a kid or two that you're trying to get off to school while you're trying to get ready to get out to work. Because organization is a thing that slows everyone down, whether you're at home or at work. Organization or lack thereof is like a make or break every situation. So with kitchens, I like to be sure that the organization practices are in place. One, I need to know how they move around their kitchen in the morning. So I like to come in and just observe that. It's kind of be like a fly on the wall and watch that happen. That tells me really more than anything they could possibly say to me in like an initial consultation. Just for me to be able to see who moves what way and what the natural flow of that space is. That way it helps me to better figure out how I can be of help and service to them to get the right type of kitchen, the right kinds of organization in the drawers and cabinets, and where things ought to be placed, where the coffee station should be, where a good place to put things for like quick breakfasts is, as people are trying to get out of the door, where's a good place to have the kids crawl up to a countertop or a table and get some breakfast before they go to school. So what would naturally be the best solutions for a family.
I see. You a fan of islands?
Love islands, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So depending on age group of kids, because you want to have them one, be safe, but you also want them to have some sense of self-reliance so that they can do certain things when they get to certain ages. And then you want to have it be organized so that even they know the system of the kitchen, the home, how things ought to work and flow. That way, at some point, when there's a point when kids are like really excited to learn how to like load the dishwasher and unload the dishwasher. And it's important that they know where things belong and what the order of the home is, so that when other people follow them, it doesn't make life harder. It should make it easier. And if you stress that initially, then even young kids will know that we keep these things here and these things here. And when I unload the dishwasher, because I'm a great helper, then I put them back in that spot. So that when mommy or daddy wants it, then they go right there to it. And I always put in storage solutions like that into all my kitchen designs.
Oh, so you're helping families also train their kids, which I'm sure they appreciate.
I think, yeah, because having kids who I know what worked for them and trying to get them trained and established to help make my own life easier, I think every parent wants a good tip. That works, honey, let's try it.
No question about it. Shout out to all the parents out there. All right, so if you don't mind, we can make our way into the family room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a lot of time gets spent here. A lot of TV getting watched, a lot of relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
What are some simple solutions you have to make sure that time is the most relaxing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I would say family rooms are three parts. This function, and then beauty. Because even if it's really, really beautiful, if I walk in and I do like a phenomenal job at making it just absolutely gorgeous, and I get that response from you like that, wow, I get that, which I always want that. So, but once I get it, then a couple months down the road, if I do a follow-up with you and we're talking about you have a storage need, or you have a place to put or keep this or display this or that, or what do I do with my books now, then I failed.
Failed?
Failed, yes.
So what are some ways in the past that you were able to help people either use a space more or, you know how some people spend time in one area, they're not really good at kind of using all of their spaces.
Yeah.
Like, what are some tools that you use to help get people circulating in their own homes?
Yeah. So one of the things I do is when I first go to a home, we talk about like what happens where. Like, and I say just like that. What happens where? Like, what do we do in this space? And what about this space? And what about, you know, where? And if they're not forthcoming, I say, well, where do you do this? Because there's certain things that you know that everybody does. But where does this take place? And where do you do this? Where do you write your bills out? Where do you when you first come home from work, where do you sit to? Like, what's your favorite place to retreat to when you get home from work? On the weekends, as a family, where do you spend? What about the kids? Where do they like to hang out to? And those are questions. And do you want to make any changes to that? Like, is that working for you guys? So those are the types of questions that we want to get answers to, and then proceed from there.
Oh, okay. Now, where do living rooms rank on the rooms that you have to see or treat the most? Is that one of the higher ones? I would think so.
So it is one of the higher ones. It's not the one I think should be the highest one is like a master bedroom area. I think that should be the highest priority. But oftentimes people want to hit the spaces first that they think other people will be the most impressed with. So yes, living rooms are one of the ones that people want to get first. Living dining rooms, and it's kind of funny to me how now we're doing this new thing where a lot of people don't have formal dining rooms, but they want to address the rooms that from the front door and around that area that will make the best impression.
Absolutely. First impressions are irreplaceable.
Yeah. Well, this is true. That's what they say, right? But if you wake up to a space that nurtures you, which should be your master bedroom, and then you're spending time in there getting ready in the morning. So then after that is your master bathroom, or the bathroom that you get ready in, how that functions and lays out, and is it helping you to get out of the house in the morning? Is there a place for all the things that you use? Is there a place for all of your makeup supplies? And can you easily get it out and in? What about where your toothbrush and toothpaste are, and soap dispensers and all those things that you want to be able to reach for and have your hand on it almost without even looking, because you don't have time to really think about what you're doing in the morning. You should really be able to go on the autopilot when you walk into your getting ready space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I read one time you can only really make 72,000 decisions in one day.
Yes.
And your space should help you to kind of limit those decisions.
Yes.
You said the master bedroom, in theory, should be the one that people really want to work on the most.
Yeah, it's the first room you see in the morning and it's the last one you see at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where does that one rank in terms of how often it gets treated? And is this where you see some of the cases that needed a little bit more help than others?
Yeah, I think people who want to do the spaces that impress other people first, no offense, generally need a little bit more attention when it comes to helping them to realize the next level of design beyond the pretty. But the next level of design is the part that feeds and nurtures. They generally need a little bit more convincing and help to see that. And when I work with a new client, I oftentimes want to do one room first, so that we get accustomed to each other, and then they can see how that works and what I'm trying to do in a presentation, and then they're like, oh, I didn't know you were going to address all of that. And you can tell them that, you can talk about it, but until they see that I'm using this item to address this need or concern of yours, and then they're like, oh, wow, okay.
So you're addressing problems they didn't know they had. Going back to the master bedroom, what are some small things that unanimously have caused problems in homes?
Mm-hmm. It can be color conflict between people who live in the home.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it can be color. because different people have different ideas about color. It can be style, like I'm traditional, he's modern, those types of things. And then I'm a night owl, and I want to sit in bed and read for a while, and they want to go right to sleep when they get into bed. So those are some things that we come into contact with, and so how to be able to assist the person who wants to stay up a little bit longer, be able to do so with causing the least amount of disruption to the person who wants to settle in for the night. So we come across that one quite a bit.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the fun part. Kids' rooms.
Yay!
So what are some of the biggest problems you see in there?
Because I'm a creative person, I like when kids have spaces that nurture and feed their imagination. So, and in that way, I think I'm like a kid, that I think about, okay, so from what vantage points will this smaller person be seeing this space, and how will this space transition with them? Because it really should last them a lot of years. They shouldn't have to do a kid's room, over and over again. Maybe you make small changes because your 3-year-old is now 10, so maybe we change from the baby color on the wall to something a little bit more tweenish. But I mean, it is, you start with like some good solid furniture, and we kind of take it from there, and we can change paint colors as needed. But kids' rooms should really inspire and motivate them to be creative and imaginative and happy and funny. I think those are things that all children deserve, and you can create spaces that help facilitate that. So I once had a little boy who he was having trouble sleeping, and I knew this going into working on his space, and so there were certain things I needed to do in his space that provoked calmness, and implemented some other things that helped him get like the best possible night's sleep.
Oh.
So and it did. It helped.
Okay. Wow. So sounds like not addressing their space could also lead to insomnia and a host of other.
Yeah, but people don't know it.
Right.
People. One of my passions is to help people realize the importance of their space and that space's effect on their overall well-being.
So, I know a lot of moms are probably listening. What are some ways that they can help optimize their child's performance in school by like designing their room or reorganizing their room, if you will?
Well, the first thing I would say has nothing to do with like design per se, but get the TV out of there. Sorry, kid. Get the TV.
Yeah, they're gonna hate this video. Oh yeah.
There's a lot of media. There's a lot of screen time coming at kids from every different direction, whether it be through a video game or something that should be educational, like ABC Mouse and things like that. That's educational, but it's still screen time. So I'm trying to get kids in large part to learn through their imagination and creativity and something else other than a book, other than having a screen all of the time. So I'm kind of old-fashioned in that way. I'm kind of traditional. I think that kids' minds and brains develop best when they're not receiving information from all kinds of sources all day long, and when they actually have time to think and be with themselves and their siblings and their parents for some time, and just figure out like what they like and what they enjoy outside of something on a screen. My favorite areas to do outside of master bedrooms and baths are rooms that allow people to do the work of the house, where you actually sit and contain the stressors of life in that one area. So like all of the bills and the things that run and make living in a home practical kind of happen there. So just it doesn't need to be like overly done. It just needs to be a place that is utilitarian so that people can meet the needs and demands of their normal everyday life in one spot instead of carrying that all over the entire house.
Is there anything that you've done to your study in the past or you've seen done that can improve this space and make them more productive, like really quickly?
Yeah, great filing systems help, and a place to organize, a place so that they can have a process on what we do when we get mail. Mail is like the demon. Like, what to do when this mail come? What steps do we take? We do this. We sort here, then we move on, and then we file here, and then we open mail. I found that it helps me to be able to open mail like a day out of the week, rather than I'm gonna open everything every day. I sort every day,
right.
And then I open a day out of the week, and then I file or I move it on to the pay process or whatever needs to happen next.
Oh, so you're not dealing with a constant influx?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's very wise.
I say on design, one, follow your heart and try and create a space that feeds and nurtures you and makes you happy so that when you come into that space, it is a reprieve from the day and not another stressor. And I wish that everyone has a great holiday season. We wish you all the merriest of Christmas and happy holidays.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.